what about this? I don't know how you feel about this, but this notion that an attractive woman can skirt. Being an attractive woman, like you hope for your children. You have a son and you have a daughter, and we both have a daughter and a son, or sons and a daughter, and you hope for the boy. Well, you think. You don't sit around and rub rosary beads, but you say, well, I'd like him to be athletic, and I'd like him to excel in sports, and I'd like him to be good-looking and tall, and so on and so forth. And for the woman, well, you'd like her to be slender and attractive and be on the cheerleading team and that sort of thing. And you realize, but be careful, because if the son is too good an athlete, I mean, if this kid is Michael Vick,
it spins.
He ain't going to have to take all the courses and classes and study. He's not going to have to wait in line. If this guy's LeBron James, look out. He's not going to have to. And LeBron turned out fine, but this guy could blow his knee out in college and be left with a life of no discipline and no whatever. And a beautiful woman. Now, I mean, when you're Rachel, you could tell what your options. By the way, there's many other widows from 9/11 that were in their 40s and 40 pounds overweight and living in Long Island, and they basically had to pick up the pieces and get it together. But they didn't have the option. Hey, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'll do a little hosting. I'll blow Tiger Woods.
It's a little more dangerous, right?
Well,
it's a liability in a way.
It is.
It's like having a ton of money or power. It just spins sometimes.
Well, in a way, in a weird way, it's like being a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like somebody says, hey, man, you could do a bunch of push-ups and a bunch of chin-ups and lift a bunch of weights and eat a bunch of creatine and really be able to hoist that 500-pound dumbbell, or you could just smoke cigarettes, drink scotch,
have a good time,
and lift it anyway.
Yeah.
And if left with the option of, hey, you could just kind of do it anyway.
Well,
why not?
That is the hard work of parenting, right? If you got one of those kids, is to indoctrinate them to the filling out.
Yeah. It's funny. I chronicle it in the book. But if you see, every once in a while, they'll do those Olympic sexy women of the Olympics, the Winter Olympics or something, and they'll show the cross-country skier, and they'll have them in the jacuzzi and in the bikini, and they'll show the diver, the woman from the swim team. And the thing that's funny about all of them, which is, and it's a through line in all of them, because you think, wow, what it takes to be an Olympic caliber swimmer, or to make the toboggan team, or to cross-country skiing, and they pan up, and you see the woman, they're always beautiful legs, toned abdomen, everything. You get to their face, it's just a little bit fucked up. Just a little bit, and you realize that's what got them up at 4:30 in the morning to go ski 8 miles and then head to the gym. Just that, if that face looked like Cindy Crawford on that body, they ain't no making the toboggan team. Just that little, and I said, look, you want your kid to, go to the Olympics, and she's, got that physique, and one well-placed shot with a snow shovel to the puss, and that's Olympic gold. But it's so funny that you realize, because they do it, and they get the angle just right, and their bodies are always beautiful, because obviously when you're a cross-country skier, you're going to have some nice legs on you. But they do it, you look at their face, and there's just one eye's just a little higher than the other. There's like a little asymmetry going on, and it's like just enough to go, for you to look at it and go, oh, yeah. Now I see why you spent 4 hours in the pool every day. Because if you just didn't have that little bump in your nose, you would have never been in that pool. Not at 4 a.m.
I'm thinking about not just athletic performance, but for some reason my mind jumped to things that people do to sort of, really what they're doing is signaling for genetic fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be an Olympic athlete is saying, yeah, I don't got the symmetry, but I got the genes. I got the goods genetically to do this, which is what people are attracted to, really, ultimately, is what men are particularly looking for. And my head went right to the Jackass guys.
Right.
Because that's one of the theories of why guys do shit like that, is to signal, look, I can tolerate being hit by a buffalo.
Right.
I got good genes.
Right.
You want me?
Yeah.
And women respond to that.
Yeah. It's sort of that, it's that ultimate show off gene.
But it's not show off. It's show off in
Look at the screen, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
If you want to see all the beautiful women, and you see just that little something wrong with their face.
Is that the skiers?
I don't know what they won, but the gold is the ugliest, and they work their way down. Always works. Yeah, so somehow you want your daughter to be attractive, but you don't want her to be smoking hot, because if she's smoking hot, what the hell are you going to do? And how are you going to say no? I mean, I know you try to instill that in them, but if you were 19 and Gina Lola Brigida came up to you and said, hey, you want to go back to my hotel room and get it on? Like, you'd just be like, yeah. Like, you want to have drinks?
No, you'd be like Bugs Bunny following the pie smell.
Yeah, floating there. No, but I'm serious. Like, if George Clooney comes up to you and you're a cocktail waitress and goes, hey, you want to hop on the back of the hog and then jump on the real hog when we get back to the hotel? They're not going to say no, and I wouldn't say no either when I was 19. Now, I have no character, but I'm just saying, how do you expect them...
Right.
So I'm just saying, if my daughter's exceedingly hot, and she's an attractive young lady, and there's a decent chance she may be, I'm gonna be hanging out with my daughter. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Why don't you have another piece of lasagna? She's gonna be like, well, I don't know. These jeans feel pretty tight already. Eat up, live a little. I'm going to see if I can just keep an extra 20 pounds on her, just to kind of keep her studying and grounded and keep Brett Favre away from her. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Then when her head's all put together properly, then let her lose the 5 pounds.
Well, by then she'll be like, why are you asking me to throw up? Wait a minute. How come I went for another quesadilla and you just slapped my hand, old man? What happened to the second piece of lasagna I grew up with?
Now you wanted to marry Brett Favre, so you don't have to worry about financing her wedding.